Hi, I am Dr. LaQuita J, and welcome to my YouTube channel where I talk about all things in between being and becoming a pharmacist. How you doing? You all right? So today we're going to talk about what is pharmacy school really like. Also today, this video, because it could be wherever. You could be watching it at night. I don't know that, but we're talking about what is pharmacy school really like. And for one, it's professional school. It's literally discipline. Like pharmacy is a profession. Law is a profession. Being, I'll say not medical, but medical doctor is a profession. It's professional school. So that's definitely one, which makes it very different from like your undergrad, where you got all these general type of people, different career types and stuff like that. It's just generally just honing on pharmacy. So it's professional school. And one of those things that signifies for professional school is we have one of the introductory ceremonies, which is a white coat ceremony, where you solidify the white coat, where it's saying, hey, I'm a professional, I'm in the healthcare. And also you take an oath, like not your oath as a pharmacist. That's the next kind of ceremony you have, like as you graduate. Some pharmacy schools have that. I think most people have it. Those have the oath ceremony. You take the oath as a pharmacist because you are truly professional. And what it means to be professional, a simple fact of some things that you did in undergrad, you probably not going to get away with, like coming to class late. That's a no. Missing, if you were like, oh, I'm going to miss class because I feel sometimes sick. It's like, no, you got to be like almost dying in a sense. Or how you might have got away with going, you can talk your way out of a test or something or assignment, and you like for a wedding or something like that. Like that's not, it's professional school. Like all those little small excuses and stuff like that, it just cannot fly for pharmacy school. It's professional. You being a professional. So definitely one of those things about it. Second thing is going to be the curriculum. The curriculum definitely can be a game changer. Now, the curriculum, typically every pharmacy school is different. So let's just say that. However, in general, especially in the United States, most pharmacy schools, like your first couple semesters, can't even say years, like your first semesters, it'll be like kind of those general kind of pharmacy courses where we may do their own thing of physiology or pathophysiology, some biochemistry, some compounding labs, patient care, ethics, and things. It's like a general thing of like introducing you to pharmacy and still and give you the foundation, or and say math, like statistics and stuff like that, like giving the foundation things you need before it is built upon the knowledge base. And then you get into more your transition to more disease state focus type of drills, like the pharmacologies, disease state focus, and learning all about those. So different disease states. That's how it's kind of structured and things of that nature. But one of the key things with the curriculum is, I'm just going to say it like this. Most of the time, unless you have really good like study habits, like your study habits in pharmacy school, how you study, in some cases, now depending on like if your prerequisites, like overall, undergrad, you got overall like different kind of class stuff like that, right? But prerequisites, you had those core science classes, things of this nature, right? I would say this: how you study in undergrad, unless if like your study habits wasn't okay, you kind of procrastinate a little bit, you wasn't very serious, that can't fly in pharmacy school. It can't fly in pharmacy school, okay? It cannot fly in pharmacy school. It won't work out for you, okay? Your study habits definitely have to change when you are in pharmacy school. They do. Because here's the thing. Information is going to constantly build up on things. Let's take a step back. Like in undergrad. You probably had biology and you learned these different things. And you didn't really take it serious. I always say chemistry. How you miss those small things of ions and charges. And when you go into you go into no, like I'm getting too geeky. Just say it's foundation principles, and it constantly builds on each other because it makes a lot of sense. And they will have you can't necessarily study, like it's gonna build on each other, so you have to really hone in and understand it. Because if you understand, just like in pharmacy school, if you understand how the body normally works, pathophysiology is when the disease enters the body. So it's like, how the body normally works, physiology. Pathophysiology is when you're learning about, how the disease is affecting the body. Pharmacology is going to be the drugs used to treat it. So that's going to play a part of it. So it's all going to build up on itself. So you have to really stay current and stay up to date with your information. You cannot slip. Also, too, we did a whole series on SOAR month. So be sure I'll link some videos. I'll link that playlist below, as well as please watch the videos of peak energy on your study hours, so you get the most time on your studying. Also, note taking. What type of note taking are you? Your learning style. All that's going to play a part, because a lot of times you come in like, it's just, you really never knew how to study. Especially if you're coming in from community college to pharmacy school, that's a great amount of transition there, where you have to figure out your group and how you study. Because if you just knew, you'll really quickly find out if you never knew how to study. And that's also a thing too, knowing your learning styles, making sure you know how you study and what works best for you. That is very, very key, because the information is powerful and stuff, especially when you start getting into drugs. Learning the drugs, it's one of those things of, you have something like, let's just say a light disease, like a light organ system, like lung. I'm sorry, the country slot. My country slang, the country draw. Your lungs, right? So you learn that disease state, asthma, COPD, cool. But that's particular disease state, those kind of drugs. Then you get into something like cardiovascular disease. You have these class of drugs and things of this nature, and these drugs are used in multiple disease states of cardiovascular. And you gotta learn that. But then it gets even more, I'll say, more interesting, where like you said, you do lungs, you do heart. We get into infectious diseases, where you have hundreds of disease states in this one category, and learn all the treatments. It's like the expansion of your brain with knowledge. So study habits are going to be very, very key. All classes not created equal. All classes not going to be created equal, and you got to have good study habits. Now, one perk of getting to pharmacy school is that you do get an intern license. So you have a pharmacy intern license. They give you that. Particularly all schools typically do that. And then you can have, by having your pharmacist license, you can try to get your internship. Internship being that you can be a pharmacy intern at the community pharmacies. Community pharmacies, not pharmacists, community pharmacies. You can be a intern there by using your license, because most states, not all states, but most states require a pharmacy tech license. You can't work unless you have a pharmacy tech license. By you being in pharmacy school, you are given pharmacy intern license, so that can help you as well. And just a little sidebar, back in my day, you still could, they give a bonus. So it's a little competitive edge in the sense of pay increase by being an intern versus being a technician. So that is something as well as a good thing about that's a good thing about pharmacy school. Now, when it comes to working in pharmacy school or having your internship, whether it be in a hospital, things of that nature, I would say, your financial situation where you can work and do a lot of things. That's really up to you. But your main thing you want to make sure you do is just know what works best for you I would say rule of thumb, no more than 20 hours a week. Anything that is too much, because pharmacy school especially takes a lot of your time. Sometimes you probably only work one day a week, or you just work the weekends. You have to figure out your group, but rule of thumb, absolutely try to spend no more than 20 hours a week. Now, you might can do 30, 40. I don't know how you're going to do that with school, because school requires at least 30 to 40 hours of your time. Just saying. And always, I'll say this, and I will say this multiple times, many times. Remember, when it comes to working, yes, you got to pay bills and things of this nature. Like, you got to be adults. Be an adult. But remember that your goal is to become a pharmacist. Not be stuck being an intern, not being stuck being a pharmacy technician, not being stuck with a job you got. Your goal is to become a pharmacist. So remember that as you work. Okay? All right. Now let's talk about culture. Culture can be different depending on the pharmacy school. Like every pharmacy got its own culture, things of that nature. Like you may have good where they truly foster family oriented cultures. You may have like it feels like home, or it just may be not even as just strictly professional, where black and white kind of thing, in the sense of just, hey, with professional school, I have this criteria, that criteria. My goal is like just only produce good pharmacists. You may not have the relationship, not necessarily goals to be a relationship with you. You might have that kind of culture. So culture is typically different. And again, you may have like the one had a family on oriented kind of thing, like, we appreciate you, we want you to succeed, I want you to feel that at all times, thing like, I got your back kind of thing. So at least say that it depends on the culture. Every culture is different. Now when you get into even when it comes to your classroom settings could have its own culture too. Your class particular may be a competitive environment. Majority of the time it's a competitive environment where everybody got to prove, there's going to be competition. People look down on you like they're better, and things. It's just going to be a competitive environment. Who got the highest GPA, who can get into these different organizations because of their, get on honorary honors because of their GPA, things of that nature. It's going to be a very competitive environment. Just understand it. However, it can be competitive among you and your colleagues, as well as classes, different classes, like your class versus another class, meaning PY1s, PY2s kind of thing. So that can be definitely competition there. Again, competition among your classmates, and like I said, different cultures. You may have everybody coming from different walks of life, different they had different GPAs, different PCAT scores, different, just everything was different. So expect that. And then you also have there are downsides to different cultures of pharmacy school. You do have some pharmacy schools that are just not progressive, especially when it comes to what they deem professionalism and what they deem not. Honestly, too, that's its own thing of being honest. There's let me just be real. There's just each pharmacy will have its own thing of what they deem professional, and that's just what it is. I remember I had a close friend who went to pharmacy school, and she's a black female. Her and her classmates were pulled into the dean's office because of their hairstyles were deemed unprofessional. So that is the thing. May have braids, may have afros, curly hair. It was deemed unprofessional. However, she had that experience. For me, I was blown away when I saw another black pharmacist had locks like mine, and hers was platinum blonde, long, with half of her hair shaved. I was like, get out. Or having dreads, or dreadlocks, these are locks, or having the big fros. And it was all about the straight hair. and fine hair. It wasn't all about that. So that's definitely a thing. And it's a thing of too, no pharmacy school is perfect, but the culture, that would be even something I would say as you're preparing for it. If you're looking to go to pharmacy school, like doing your interview, if you get that chance to have an interview, really ask them, like, how do you foster a safe and open environment for your students? That would be a great question to ask, because we want to make sure you identify. Of course, it's like, oh, our culture's way to do this and that, but how? Like, especially like being, if you are a minority, what do you do? Like, how you foster the environment for your minority students. So that's definitely a thing. And also too, when it comes to cultures, you may have professors that have that superiority, like, I'm God. This is what I said. This is what I do. Do what you do. You try and get like me. I got my degree. You got professors with that attitude. Well, I got mine, you get yours, kind of thing. And it can really tarnish you. Like, again, this friend, like, it was one point, she was just like, I just decided to shut up and get my degree. Like, let me just put my head down so I can get my degree. But it's like, I don't think she really had a good experience with pharmacy school as well as I did. So that's definitely something to consider. And also too, with pharmacy school, you may be used to, like, going across campus and doing going to different classes. Majority of the time, not all the time, but majority of the time, most of the time your teachers come to you. You're probably in one classroom all day and the teacher just come to you. And even with the times, depending on your pharmacy school, some pharmacy schools really schedule you up, like pharmacy schools like a 8 to 5, 8 to 4 type of day, or I say 9 to 4 type of day. So like a 9 to 5, kind of a gig for you. It's like sub as a job Monday through Friday sometimes. I even have an off day, things of this nature, but it's kind of sub as like a job. And when it comes to student organization, there are going to be many student organizations you can join. Some as APHA, American Pharmacy Association, student version of it. Student version of SNAPA. I was going to say SNAPA. It's SNAPA, and it's Student National Pharmaceutical Association. You can have every particular, all the major pharmacy organizations, where it's AACP, American Colleges of Pharmacy Schools, I believe. I'm butchering that. I probably for sure I'm butchering that. All of those have a student version of it. So you just look up any kind of pharmacy organizations that have a student version of it. You participate. I personally will always participate in those things. It's a good way to, again, hone your craft, your professional skills as a pharmacist, get to meet people, impact your community, and it makes you look good for like your resume. Because it's kind of like undergrad, your experience, what have you done, what kind of projects have you done to make you stand out, things of that nature. And during your first year, you have one of these that have IPPE. We call APPE. IPPE stands for Introductory Pharmacy Practice Experience. And with this particular thing, it's just your introduction, like how you just go in and shadow a particular sector of pharmacy. Sometimes it's going to be retail, sometimes it's hospital, whatever your particular school has. Then you have advanced APP or advanced pharmaceutical practice experience, your APPEs. And those are the ones you're going to typically do your last year. So most of the time with pharmacy school in general, the first couple of years is typically whatever your, like what you do, a 3-year program, 4-year program, all those things. Your first years is one to spend doing didactic coursework. You'll be in the class, labs, things of that nature. And you may have IPPE over the summer or a break in between with IPPE, because again, some people do courses, may do pharmacy school all year round. But then you will have APPE, and APPEs are your advanced, and this is going to be your last year of pharmacy school. You just do nothing but, and that's what we call like the clinical rotations. So that's what we know. Your people that's like, I'm on rotation. Those are your rotations you're going to do, and then and your pharmacy school sets you up with different ones. Like you do have a chance to pick your own electives and things of this nature, but you also have like clinical, you get to get in the hospital, retail. If you can like you're on your own ones, like government ones, it's typically just elective, institutional, And it's probably some moments around like compounding. It's just different ones you can go into and see different things. And it's also to see like it's also a way to see like, okay, what type of pharmacist you want to be by going through those APPEs and seeing it and figuring it out. And also too, that's a whole nother topic though, but with your doing those rotations, it's like definitely building relationships with different people and getting to see like what works best for you and what you like. So in hindsight, what pharmacy schools really like, honestly, unless you talk to a pharmacist, or honestly, unless you talk to a pharmacist, really that's the only way you're gonna really figure out what the pharmacist does and how we advocate and what the things we do. Because just me being honest, hindsight, outside looking in, I went into pharmacy school very blind. I just don't want to become a pharmacist. I knew all the different things about the profession. I learned like what they do, how it fits more for me for my just life goals and things of that nature, career goals. And it was also a thing too though, just really figuring out I knew what I wanted. But it was one of those things of just saying, okay, but I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. But I didn't honestly know. I didn't know anything about it. And I also went to pharmacy school. I didn't have any pharmacy experience at all. I didn't work inside a pharmacy. I didn't work inside any kind of like healthcare facility or nothing. I just went in blind. But I learned so much about it. So that's definitely one thing that you can do when it comes to pharmacy. You can just really learn about it. So just don't be, what I would say what it's really like. And then too, you really care about the profession, like you're onto something big and the things we can do and the possibilities. Because the pharmacy profession in general, we are very unique, and we just do so much more than dispensing medications and even administering vaccinations. Like we are one of the most accessible healthcare providers ever. And honestly, we just sometimes are the underdogs and we're being left out, and it's one of those things to really truly see, as you get involved, especially those organizations, and you see people advocate for the profession, it makes you want to advocate too. I remember when I was in pharmacy school, that's when we first I was in pharmacy school when we got provider status. Do you know how hard that was? And it's something so crazy to see the advancement of the nursing profession and how they have all these different the nurse practitioners and what's this FNP. I don't understand what that is, but yeah, you understand. I'm sorry, I don't. The RNs, the things that LPNs, and it's how they get advanced, get prescribed and get the right prescriptions and expand their scope. Physical therapists, how they can expand their scope and how we are just so limited in a sense. So that's definitely one of those things, to see that you can be an advocate for it, and you can see a career in I'm here to see a career in politics as well, being a pharmacist who's in the boardrooms, in those Senate and representative meetings, advocating for this profession, because most of the time people don't understand the healthcare and the value of a pharmacist. So definitely one of those great things definitely can happen. But I do hope you enjoyed this video and it gave you a better insight of what pharmacy school is like, and gave you just more okay, something I was desire to do. We always welcome everybody into it. It's truly a unique profession, and it really, and I would say this, I'm gonna say that thought, but I was gonna go ahead and say it. When it comes to pharmacy school, really think about how do you want to help people? Because everybody's gonna say, I want to be a pharmacist, I want to help people. But truly, how do you want to help people? And once you store that how you want to help people, it makes it a lot more easy. Okay, so I do hope you found this. I do hope something was said in this video that sparked your interest, that confirmed some things for you. whether it was to go to pharmacy school or go a different route. Please like, comment, subscribe below. As always, until next time, remember that pharmacy is unlimited if you are. Now go be great.